if you showed kindness to a creature every day, quietly, without asking for anything back, do you think they would remember? Nobody knew that the simple bowl of water he left every morning would one day save his own life. Not remember the way you remember a birthday or a name, but remember the way the body remembers, the way trust remembers, the way something deep and old and biological remembers, even when words can't. This is a story about what happened when one man found out the answer. Every morning, just after dawn, an old man walked the same road. He was alone in the way some people become alone gradually, without anyone deciding it. His wife was gone. His children lived far away. His days had a shape to them, but not much warmth. On the side of that road, he started noticing a dog, a golden retriever, thin, matted, watchful. The kind of dog that had clearly known people and then known something else. The old man didn't try to catch him, didn't call out, didn't make promises. He just started leaving a bowl of water and a little food at the edge of the road before his walk. Every morning, same spot, same time. He never stayed to watch, just left it and kept walking. A small act, an ordinary kindness, the kind that no one notices and no one records. But the dog noticed. Days passed, then weeks, then a month. The food always disappeared. The water was always drunk, but the dog kept his distance, watching from the tree line, from behind parked cars, from whatever shadow was available. He had learned somewhere in his past that people were not always safe. That kindness sometimes had a condition attached. So he waited, watched, took the food, and stayed back. The old man never pushed, never tried to close the distance faster than the dog was willing to close it. He just kept showing up, because some things can't be rushed, and he was old enough to know that. Here's what was happening inside that dog, biologically, during those weeks of watching. Every morning the food appeared, his brain released a small amount of dopamine, the chemistry of anticipation. Every morning the man left without incident. His cortisol eased slightly, not dramatically, but consistently across weeks. Trust in dogs builds through exactly this kind of repetition. Reliable, uncharged, patient presence, not grand gestures, ordinary ones, repeated. The dog wasn't deciding to trust the old man, his nervous system was learning to. And nervous systems, it turns out, remember what minds might not. It was a rainy morning in early spring. The old man had left the bowl and was walking away when he heard something behind him. He turned. The dog was standing in the road, not at a distance, 10 feet away, maybe less. The old man went very still. He didn't speak, didn't reach out, just stood there in the rain and waited. The dog took one step, then another, and then, slowly, carefully, with the particular gravity of a creature offering something it has never offered before, he walked to the old man's hand and pressed his nose against it. Just for a moment, then he stepped back. The old man stood in the rain a long time after that. He didn't know what to call what he was feeling. He just knew something had been given to him that morning he hadn't known he was missing. 3 weeks later, the bowl didn't come. The dog waited at the usual spot, the usual time. Nothing. He didn't eat that morning. He didn't leave either. He simply waited through the afternoon, through the fading light, until the sun disappeared. He had lived his whole life knowing good things end, that people leave, that the reliable becomes unreliable without warning. He had believed, against his better instincts, that this morning would be different. It wasn't, or at least that's what it looked like. When a dog's primary source of safety disappears without explanation, cortisol rises measurably within 24 hours. A low-level alert that something important is missing. But something else happens too. Dogs don't just wait passively. They search using scent, the most precise memory system they have. The olfactory memory of a familiar person persists in a dog's brain with extraordinary accuracy, even after long absence. The dog wasn't just hungry, he was looking. The next morning, he didn't stay at the road. He moved through the town the way dogs move when tracking something important, nose low, deliberate, unhurried, but focused. The park where the man sometimes sat, the market where he sometimes stopped, People saw him and thought little of it, a stray, wandering. But he wasn't wandering, he was looking for someone specific. On the second day, he found a scent faint but unmistakable. The particular combination of that man's skin, his coat, the soap he used, the dog's nose had cataloged it across months of mornings, and now it led him through 3 streets to a house with a closed door. He stood at the door and listened. From inside, a sound, barely audible, a cough, then silence. The dog sat down, and then he started barking. Not the bark of a dog who wants attention, the bark of a dog who has something to say and will not stop until someone hears it. A neighbor came out first, then another. They tried to shoo him away. He didn't move. Something about the quality of his barking, the persistence, the direction of it, always toward that door made one of them stop and knock. No answer. They tried the handle. Inside, the old man was on the floor. He had fallen 2 days earlier, couldn't reach his phone, had been lying there since the morning the bowl didn't come. The ambulance arrived within minutes. The doctor stepped out of the room, looked at the neighbors, and quietly said, "Another 24 hours, and he wouldn't have survived." No one spoke. The old man had spent months saving a hungry dog. Now, without saying a single word, the dog had returned the favor. What the dog did that day isn't scientifically surprising. Dogs have been documented alerting humans to emergencies not because they were trained to, but because attachment to a specific person creates a behavioral pull researchers are only beginning to understand. When a bonded human is in distress, a dog's stress system activates in parallel with theirs. Their behavior shifts. They become focused, persistent, directed. This is what months of small kindness had built. Not obedience, not training. A bond deep enough that his nervous system responded to the man's emergency as if it were his own. That is not instinct in the simple sense. That is loyalty. And loyalty, it turns out, is what kindness becomes when you give it long enough. The old man came home 6 weeks later. The dog was at the door, not barking, not urgent. Just there sitting in the morning light, waiting with the particular patience of a creature who has learned some things are worth waiting for. The old man sat down on the front step. The dog walked over and lay down beside him. Neither of them moved for a long time. That afternoon, the old man bought a dog bed, a bowl with a name on it. He chose the name carefully. He called him Grace, because that's what it was. Kindness is strange. It rarely comes back the way you expect, but sometimes it comes back exactly when your life depends on it. Think about the dog in your life right now, the one who follows you from room to room, who rests easy when you're near. That didn't happen by accident. That's what you built, one quiet act at a time. Has a dog ever shown you something you couldn't explain? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. And if this story stayed with you, share it with someone who needs the reminder that small things are never really small.